everyone, Josh here with Fresh Start Customs, and today you probably recognize these 3 slate coasters from our previous video on how to endlessly do engravings on the same slate coaster until you get it perfect. Well, I kept them the same. We have our lightest one over here, our medium one, and our darkest one over here. And as you can see, this one's got a color upgrade, and so does this one, but I chose to do white and make it even brighter than it was last time. So I'm going to show you guys exactly how I did this using a non-rasterized image. We're going to try that for the very first time, but all of these were rasterized images here. And as you can see, this is the original one here, and we have mineral oil on it. That's why it's got that shine to it, and it kind of disappears in some lighting. And then we went ahead and used paint markers like this to get the paint on here for like the green. And then we have 2 other special things that you got to do during this process, and I'm going to share with that next. But like I said, this is a rasterized image, so it's not going to pick up as much detail as probably an SVG file or a vector images, and that's what we're going to do here next. So we have potentially our new logo here on an SVG or vector image, and we're going to be doing the same situation here. So we're going to move these coasters up out of the way a little bit here. We'll just move them up here so you can still kind of see them. And we're going to go through the whole process here. So what you want to do is grab a color that you want to change your coaster to. In this case, I'm going to try something even completely new and use 2 colors at the same time. And we're going to see what that turns out to be. So you need to shake these little pens up and get the paint flowing in them. And you're going to have to like push down to get the paint to flow out of these. And it may take a moment for that to come out. So just keep that in mind. And then you can do 2 different methods. I like to do like the little dot method and kind of just dab right along the areas that I think that I'm going to want to color. And then, or you can just kind of go back and forth like this too. So whatever's the easiest. I think this is going to be a little bit quicker just to spread stuff and then make sure you can get some fresh paint in there and get it nice and wet and just go over all of the areas that you want to color. So I'm going to kind of do like a 2-tone back and forth, side to side kind of thing here. And you don't have to be 100% accurate. Just make sure you're good with the paint and sparing here. We're going to wipe it off in just a second. I'm going to show you how to do that here. So we're going to go about like right here with the orange. And then I'm going to do the yellow next up above. So I'm going to shake that up, and then I'm going to get this down too. And then you're going to have to wait for the paint to come out of there. Like I said, some of these can be more dried up than others, and you got to shake them pretty well. All right, so we got most of it covered there. Now what we want to do is we want to grab like an old rag here. So like our previous video, just grab an old rag. And then what you want to do is get some isopropyl alcohol like this, and then put it on that rag there. So I'm going to just put a little bit on the rag. And then what we're going to do is just kind of use your finger, and you're going to kind of smear this very lightly so it goes into the engravings here. And then just work your finger back and forth. And in this case, we're just doing a transition, so that's okay. I'm just trying to not cross-contaminate it here. And then just do it really lightly and keep working your fingers back and forth here. And then when you need to, kind of move your finger to a fresh area or just put some brand new stuff on there. And then just kind of clean it up very lightly here. And you're just going to keep working it until you can color in those areas. Okay, now that we're about this point, we want to just go and get a whole new area, and then we're going to do that again and just kind of keep working at it, but very lightly so you can keep the color in the engraving area, but pull out the blacks. That's what we want to do here, if at all possible. And from what you can see, it's kind of hard to tell with the orange. It seems like the yellow is actually working a little bit better. So I think I'm going to just fill this in with yellow. And you can kind of experiment from here. This is the first time I did like a dual tone here. So I'm going to go ahead and drop some more yellow on here We're just gonna fill that back in and kind of keep working at it until it looks pretty good and decent here. Alrighty guys, so there you go. You can clean this up as much as you want here, but next what we want to do is go back over it with this mineral oil here. So we're going to use a little bit of mineral oil and we're going to kind of coat that back together. So just put a little bit like this on there, and then we're going to go back over top of it, and then that's going to kind of give it that shine back here. Now keep in mind this will dull the color a little bit, but it gives it a nice black shine and a black luster back here, and then you can go back over and kind of dry it with a dry area of your cloth and just kind of work it into place, and then it'll give it that nice little coloring effect there. So right there, you can see I got like the yellow and there is some orange in there. I like the yellow a lot better. That's why I went back over it. And you can kind of work in the different areas that you want so it looks more consistent. But overall, that is how you get the coloring there and a nice black luster or black shine. The closer you are to the center, the better it's going to look, because if you get on these edges, it's going to catch some paint like that. But overall, that is how I do my colored coasters. If you guys found this interesting, let me know, and then I'll try and do more stuff like this in the future.